completely free and ready to go when and where you are. Local Now. Find it in your favorite app store.
Keeping the night interesting is all about setting the right tone. Lower carbs, lower calories, higher expectations. The light beer you've been waiting for has arrived. Corona Premier.
I drive up, I bring people Dish. I love it. Why? Because what I bring makes people go, whoa. Over 80,000 on-demand movies and shows. A voice remote that leaves them speechless. Live TV streamed instantly. And it's all getting us some pretty big awards, but my reward is that moment when I let them drive.
Wow. Ranked #1 in customer satisfaction. Dish, tuned into you.
How's it going?
Wow, what we got over here?
This is the all-new Chevy Silverado.
It's beautiful.
Beefy and mean looking.
It's the strongest, most advanced Silverado ever, and it's full of surprises.
nice.
It offers an industry-first power up-down tailgate.
I kind of didn't expect that to happen.
But that's not all.
Oh,
The Silverado has more cargo volume than any competitor.
very impressive.
It's got 20% more than F-150.
That is really nice.
Is there a buy it now button on there too?
Yeah.
Well, it finally happened, Zachary. Somebody burned down my she shed.
Nobody burned down your she shed, Cheryl.
Well, my she shed's on fire.
Your she shed was struck by lightning.
Zachary, is my she shed covered by State Farm?
Your she shed's covered, Cheryl.
You hear that, Victor? I'm getting a new she shed.
She shear?
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful news.
Home insurance trusted by more people than any other. State Farm.
Down there, Care, with Cottonelle. Down there, because you're about to nail this presentation, so you get fresh here, but why not get fresh there? With the cleansing power of water in Cottonelle Flushable Wipes, so you can feel as confident as a boss, even though you aren't one yet. Care. Down there, Care, with Cottonelle.
When you start with a better hot dog from Oscar Mayer,
That's no way to treat a dog.
you can do no wrong.
Where did you learn that?
The internet.
Yeah.
With no artificial preservatives or added nitrates or nitrites, it's all for the love of hot dogs.
Right now on Weather Underground, we're tracking another round of dangerous storms tonight. We'll show you the latest timing for damaging winds, heavy rain, and possible tornadoes, and where significant effects to travel, where they're likely.
And right on the heels of Tropical Depression 3 is a new disturbance to watch in the Gulf. Hurricane expert Dr. Rick Knapp discusses each and every scenario and why this area has been a hot spot so far this season.
And new video tonight from damaging storms in the Midwest. We're going to show you where high winds caused some incredible scenes like this that sent everything and everyone flying.
Plus, from Barry to this weekend's storms in the Northeast, this has been the summer of the flood. Find out why heavy rainfall and dangerous flood events could become the norm.
And a frightening moment when high winds and wet ground put this bystander in danger. We'll show you what happens next on Weather Underground. Good Tuesday to you. Welcome into Weather Underground. I'm Alex Wilson.
I'm Mark Elliott, and man, it has been another day, hasn't it? From the Northeast to the Mid-Atlantic, now portions of the Southeast. Dangerous weather again.
Yeah, Massachusetts seemed to be front and center when it came to the action today. You're looking at Yarmouth, where a viewer caught video of limbs flying off trees. This was, by the way, a radar-confirmed tornado, and we've actually captured it on video as well. So you can see at times some branches blow by. Obviously, the grass there really blowing in the wind.
northwestern Gulf of Mexico with a prefrontal trough. So here's where you got winds coming from this way and winds coming from this way. There's your general area of spin that could be in the beginning stages. The thunderstorms associated with what was TD13 have flared up again this afternoon, but we just don't have a well-defined closed circulation. It's never been able to really keep its act together for any length of time, and whatever it does is going to be staying offshore. So all eyes on but let's take a look at the models, okay? The colors on here are low-level spin, so there's a little bit of spin over the Gulf. There's what was TD13. Here's our front. Now, the traveling white lines are the upper-level strong winds, the jet stream level, okay? Now here, when we look into Wednesday, the European model has a little bit of color, a little bit of low-level spin, but look at how that trough has dug down into the Gulf, so there's a good bit of wind shear over the system. Same thing on Thursday, and then in the European model's eye, by Friday, the chances in the Gulf have really gone away, but then we could have some non-tropical low forming out over the Gulf Stream and heading northeastward. Take a quick look at the GFS model for comparison. You see all the colors here are the low-level spin along the front on Wednesday. But when we get into Thursday and Friday, you see that jet stream energy causing some wind shear over the Gulf, but it does have some concentrated areas of spin just offshore in the northeastern Gulf, just offshore off the Carolinas, so we'll have to watch that closely. But neither model is screaming like pre-Barry, guys, that this is going to form. It's just that we can't rule it out.
Yeah.
Something to watch. And I'm glad the models aren't screaming at us.
No, that's good. I think a lot of people, especially those who live near the Gulf Coast, because, you know, with Barry, we had a similar setup, and the models were saying, like, hey, there's a pretty good chance this is going to do something. So
this
obviously worth watching, but gives us a little, you know, something to hang our hat on. All right, now we got to turn our focus to the Midwest because, gosh, we had some big-time storms, and we will still see some more storms tomorrow into the end part of the week, but hopefully nothing like what we had out there maybe Saturday in Appleton, Wisconsin. Some huge winds through the upper Midwest.
Yeah, and so there was a festival here of some kind. It had all these tents. Had is the right word because it doesn't take much wind to pick up those tents, and these people try. They try so hard.
They're holding on.
To hold on. But what's more impressive to me is not that the tent goes, but eventually here, as you look at the crosswalk right there, that to me looks like a big air conditioning unit from the top of a building, from a roof, right? And there's all this debris all of a sudden. So something even stronger came by.
Yeah, these winds were incredible. The damage reports coming in were widespread, and also power outages. There were tons of them. So it gives you a sense of what kind of winds we were looking at. Here's another view. Again, the tents go flying. They're some of the easiest things to get going. And you can see, as you mentioned, Mark, in the earlier videos, you can watch some people holding on to one. They're going to kind of get pulled into the middle of the road as they try to work their might against the wind.
Yeah, and that black tent just flies up, and then there's people holding it, and I mean, you can't really use that. I mean, they're parachutes at that point.
Yeah.
It's not a good idea to hold on. Just let it go. Go buy another tent.
Yeah.
Get yourself somewhere safe.
Some other video showing the receiving end of the wind you do not want to be on or be in. Those portable toilets, they get going, the door flies open, and they're moving around quite easy. As you mentioned, we've got some people walking around, and perhaps that wind getting a little extra oomph through those buildings, too.
Yeah, you know,
or on the other side of the building.
He's grabbing these barricades, trying to move them so that he can then get back in the car and get out of there.
Right.
And the barricade keeps moving in front of his vehicle.
Yeah, he's unfortunately, the wind is making sure he's going nowhere fast, but a lot of people on the move. We've got one more video to share with you, too, of these pretty impressive winds. And here's a look at also some of the wind-blown rain. So at times, it's tough to see when you've got wind like this blowing rain, blowing tree debris around, blowing the light fixtures, the stoplights. They get
that's
moving.
A construction, one of the big construction cones. Or actually, there's several of them.
The barrels,
so that, that construction site is got to get put back together at this point.
A tough go. And we could see severe weather once again this week across the northern tier of the country. Today, the forecast shows that upper trough swinging east. So we get back into the northern plains and the upper Great Lakes once again.
And so with that upper level flow and that jet stream cutting across this zone, by tomorrow, it's really, along with some help from the higher terrain, right? Coming off the Rockies, you have Montana to Wyoming, Wyoming into the Dakotas. Favored spot this year for big storms. Tomorrow will be no exception, and then it only goes further east from there.
Yeah, it's going to be an active week. Thursday, we got International Falls, U.S.-Canada border, all the way down into sections of southern and eastern South Dakota. So places to watch.
Absolutely. So let's go through a little bit of the setup. We've got some Gulf of Mexico moisture returning, which is interesting because we've just been talking about how much cooler and drier it's going to be. It's summer, people. It doesn't take that long to return. And so there will be enough moisture. Moisture might be one of the limiting factors, but it does come back in.
Yeah, we might not have the heat and humidity of last week, but we definitely will have enough to get those storms firing and those storms capable of producing those strong winds. Also increasing wind with height. So we've got that wind aloft, and that oftentimes translates down to the surface. So perhaps some big damaging wind gusts coming down with those heavy downpours. I
think that wind will overcome the lack of moisture and still support some big storms.
Yeah, so something keep in the back of your mind. I know it's summer. There's, after school, or not after school, but summer practices for the fall sports. So just have your phone nearby if the kids are going to be at a practice, because there's a good chance coach may call at some point and be like, hey, got to come pick everybody up.
Absolutely.
More than 75,000 people are still without power in Michigan. Severe thunderstorms rocking the state this weekend. About 800,000 homes were left in the dark. And strong winds, by the way, snapped several trees, knocked down power lines. The Detroit-based energy company expects power to be fully restored by Wednesday. Here's a look at some of the big trees toppled by the strong winds. And crews have been out there working hard to, 1, clean up, 2, get power restored. So it's been a tough weekend, a weekend of a lot of work for many communities as they work their best to get everything back up and going. A place like Rapid City tomorrow, we start the day on the quiet side, but during the afternoon and evening, that's when we'll be watching for the showers and the thunderstorms to roll through. So here at 5 o'clock, you can see things getting a little bit more active. That will continue through dinner time. By the later evening, those thunderstorms sliding off towards the east. So we go to bed on Wednesday with quieter conditions than say what we'll have out there while we're eating our dinner or making our way home from work. Now, across the region, you can see a similar story to western South Dakota. It really is going to be during the afternoon and early evening that we see those thunderstorms really take hold. Even sections of eastern Wyoming and northwestern Nebraska could get in on some stronger thunderstorms. By the time we get into early Thursday, things begin to wane for a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. And so really, we're just getting started here with the chance for storms over the next couple of days, and really what you could see in the next couple. Flooding has really stolen a lot of the headlines this week, and I'm sure this is not what comes to mind when you think of a carpool, but that's what you were dealing with yesterday in Brooklyn. Why we could see flooding like this more and more often. We tell you about the atmosphere, what's changing about it to create this.
It's time for some straight talk. It's true, the big wireless companies have great coverage.
Great coverage.
That's because of all these cell towers. Glorious, isn't it? But guess what? Straight Talk Wireless runs on the same 4G LTE networks for up to half the cost. The unlimited plan is just $45 a month, no contract.
Why haven't we switched? You really should. It's a really good deal.
Plus, get a Samsung Galaxy S10e. Straight Talk Wireless, only at Walmart.
With Domino's Carry-Out Insurance, we'll remake your order for free if anything happens to it on the way home, even if it's not your fault. Like if it's whoever that guy's chasing's fault. Or if it's man's best friend's fault. Or even if it is, ultimately, your fault. Carry out Domino's large 3-topping pizzas for $7.99 each. With Domino's Carry-Out Insurance, just bring it back and we'll remake it for free.
This is protection in a world of distraction. This is Nissan Intelligent Mobility.
Olay Ultra Moisture Body Wash gives skin the nourishment it needs and keeps it there longer with lock-in moisture technology. Skin is petal smooth because your best skin starts with Olay.
Bon and Viv Spike Seltzer has 0 grams of sugar.
It's light and refreshing, perfect to drink by any ocean.
Like this one. Or a rooftop ocean.
Or by a beverage ocean.
Filled with tiny icebergs.
At ProPlan, we believe nutrition is full of possibilities to improve your pet's life. We're redefining what nutrition can do, because the possibility of a longer life and a healthy life is the greatest possibility of all. Purina ProPlan, nutrition that performs.
Bear presents Tough as Walls.
That's some great paint.
That's some great paint.
Bear, ranked #1 in customer satisfaction with interior paints. Find it exclusively at the Home Depot.
Attention cancer victims who use the weed killer Roundup. A federal jury unanimously found that Monsanto's popular weed killer Roundup was a substantial factor in causing cancer. You may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you or someone you love used Roundup and were diagnosed with cancer, call the number on your screen now. Don't wait. There may be time deadlines to file a claim.
Call 800-838-1016. That's 800-838-1016.
This is Kate.
Hey.
She takes 2 prescriptions. Kate's son Jack takes 1 too. Kate works hard and thought she had good insurance. But she still pays too much. That's no good. So Kate downloaded the GoodRx app. Now she can compare prescription prices to find the best discounts. She even beats her insurance price. Good for you, Kate. Good for you. GoodRx. Stop paying too much for your prescriptions. Download the free app today.
We never said the story was over. Storm Stories. The Weather Channel's hit series returns August 18th.
All right, let's take you to Apalachicola, one of the communities that's watching for thunderstorms. We've seen plenty of action down into portions of the southeast, and now we get into the Florida Panhandle, sections of North Florida, along the Gulf Coast as we go through the next few hours. So let's walk you through the severe warnings, also where these storms are headed, because I know a lot of you may be on some of those beach chairs like what we're seeing there in Apalachicola. Right now, we've got a few warnings to tell you about there into the state of North Carolina. So severe thunderstorm warning in effect for the possibility for some strong wind gusts. And boy, have we seen that today already across sections of North Carolina. Sampson County, you're the one under the warning. This is just off towards the west of I-40, Garland, Ingold, Taylor's Bridge, just a few of the communities in the path of this storm, eventually crossing over I-40. And by the way, earlier around Bladenboro, trees down at Forest Drive and Richardson Road. This was at the point when this storm was tornado warned. So again, areas off to the south and east of Lumberton, they had that tornado warned storm, and they have seen some reports of at least tree damage in the area. Got a lot of lightning up there on the northern parts of the Outer Banks. Areas around Greenville, you still have some thunder and lightning to contend with. So even though you don't have warnings, doesn't mean these storms can't be dangerous. Any lightning going to be dangerous. If you can hear thunder, you need to be inside. And you can see those thunderstorms firing up just west of Charleston, beginning to work into a place like Savannah as well. So we've got a lot of those coastal communities over the next few hours that we need to watch. Same for a place like Jacksonville, Florida. And then down into the Florida Panhandle, you can see we've got thunderstorms moving out of the state of Alabama now crossing the state line into Florida. We've seen some into southern Mississippi, southern Louisiana as well. Portions of the New Orleans metro have seen and could continue to see scattered showers and thunderstorms throughout the evening. Our watch has been trimmed back a bit, so we still have a little bit of North Carolina, South Carolina, and portions of the Outer Banks up into far southeastern stretches of Virginia until 10 o'clock local time. Obviously, Mark will continue to watch those storms as they roll south and east.
Yeah, you know, this front is all the way to the East Coast, so that means it's obviously through the Great Lakes. And what a beautiful evening it is in Millennium Park right now. Just a great, great day because this front has come through. And what a difference it is from where we were, right? Because you think back a couple of days ago, we were talking about the insane heat, the really dangerous temperatures. At one point, we were saying we could get to 100. We didn't quite make it. Got to 95 on Saturday. But the cool down continues. How about tomorrow's high of 81? So much of the day is going to be spent in the 70s. It just doesn't get much better than that this time of year. Go for that long jog along the lakefront. It is going to be spectacular. Although there's storms about 3 days from now, so soak it in while you can. You know, blue may be your favorite color in the summer because anywhere in blue here is going to be a below average high. When you're saying a below average high at typically your hottest time of the year, it's still plenty warm. I mean, it's still summertime out here, but it's a nice little break. And along with that cooler air is some lower humidity, and I think that's what people are really going to notice. High pressure over the west, that's where the heat is. In the troughiness in the east, and with our cold front moving south and east, we've got a northwest flow. It is dragging down much cooler air to the point that we could see record lows. We don't get to talk about record lows that often anymore, but here is a good case for them. Tomorrow morning, Oklahoma City will be at 60. The record is 61. Little Rock, 62. Knoxville, 58. Even down, Alex, to I-10, Mobile, upper 60s. Pretty close to the record for that area.
Yeah, gonna feel downright refreshing, especially compared to what you've had, right? Steel City, Pittsburgh, 74 degrees. You can see Old Glory blowing on the left-hand side of the screen. So we've got a nice breeze in addition to those comfortable temps. Temps will creep back up as we head into the weekend, back to the upper 80s. But gosh, this is a nice little respite across the region for late July. Not necessarily what you'd expect, but I think everybody's like, you know what? I can take a break from the pool. The dogs, they've been dying to go for a walk when it's not sweltering, and the kids have wanted to go over to the playground, right? You can actually get out there and enjoy it. Wednesday highs around 76. Average in Pittsburgh, 83 degrees, staying below average on Thursday and back to average on Friday. Morning lows holding in the mid and upper 50s. That's kind of open the windows, nice air. Washington, D.C., Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, your highs were in the mid and upper 90s. We're going mid and upper 80s for the remainder of the week and into the upcoming weekend. So, again, some nice changes compared to what we've had. New York, actual highs late last week in the low to mid 90s. This week, Wednesday, 81, 84 Thursday, mid 80s remain Friday and Saturday. So, again, much more comfortable. Definitely still feels like summer, but not nearly as hot as it was. And in St. Louis, where our highs were 96, 97, 96 last Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we're going 83 Wednesday, 85 Thursday, 87 Friday, 89 on Saturday. So back to near 90, but not the mid and upper 90s that had, the AC working overtime. In Omaha, Nebraska, upper 90s and mid 90s. You had that late last week and into the weekend. 82, going to feel fabulous Wednesday and Thursday. So, Mark, I think a lot of people enjoying the break. Doesn't stick around forever. We see those temps return back closer to average, but I like it.
A little respite from the worst of the heat, especially considering this is, for so many, the hottest time of year.
The hottest time of the year, yeah. So a 1 or 2 day break, pulling it back a bit, I don't think anybody's complaining.
Yeah, we'll take it. And there's still much more to come here on Weather Underground. The potential disturbance in the Gulf is fueling strong storms and heavy rain this week. See why Florida and the rest of the Gulf Coast needs to watch that very closely.
The proud son of an immigrant father, John Hernandez found his own path through a field of smoke. When wildfires threatened communities, John jumped into danger, fighting through fear and fatigue until the fire was contained. John found his fighting spirit in one of the most dangerous jobs in the world, a job few are willing to do. Since 1925, we've proved that it doesn't matter where you come from, it matters what you're made of. Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit.
So Kim, you going for a big Drive Safe and Save discount? Yep, using the app. I've been quite vigilant.
Easy.
But you're in labor.
Don't mess with my discount!
Get a discount up to 30% with Drive Safe and Save.
Parents have a way of imagining the worst, especially when your easily distracted teenager has the car. At Subaru, we're taking on distracted driving with sensors that alert you when your eyes are off the road. The all-new Subaru Forester. The safest Forester ever.
Target School List Assist, the easiest way to shop your kid's school list in a click. Just enter their school, find their class, and pick up their entire list in store or have it delivered to your door. Target School List Assist for every school list.
This is a legal alert for users of Roundup Weed Killer. In July 2018, a judge determined that all federal lawsuits could move forward against Monsanto, the maker of Roundup Weed Killer, over concerns that those exposed are at risk for developing non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And in 3 landmark verdicts, the most recent in May of 2019 for $2 billion, one in March 2019 for $80 million, and another in August 2018 for $289 million, it was concluded that Roundup was responsible for the plaintiff's non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Roundup Weed Killer is the most commonly used weed killer in American agriculture, with an estimated 85 to 90 million pounds used each year. If you or someone you love has been diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma after being exposed to Roundup or a glyphosate herbicide, you may be entitled to compensation. How do you fight for the compensation you deserve? You choose the right legal team that has the experience and resources to seek the most compensation for your injuries. Call for a free case review.
As your life grows, so do your needs. And with Bank of America and Merrill, the benefits you get can grow too. As a Preferred Rewards member, you can enjoy priority service and exclusive discounts, so your growing life can be more rewarding too. What would you like the power to do?
Have you smelled this litter?
No.
Nobody has. It's unscented.
Tidy Cat's Free and Clean Unscented. Powerful odor control with activated charcoal. Free of dyes, free of fragrances. Unscented odor control like that? Try Tidy Cat's Free and Clean.
Good cast, buddy.
Thanks.
From laser-measured floor liners to Sunshade, the cup phone to secure your phone, to Tech Liner for your bed and tailgate, Bump Step.
Oh, can I hold it?
Yeah, good job.
To no-drill mud flaps.
Wow, look at that.
WeatherTech has everything you need to keep your truck protected all year long. Order yours today at WeatherTech.com, the ultimate protection for your vehicle.
A moment of serene, beautimous. Yeah, here's your ohm.
This is nice. I'm usually a level 10 human, and this has brought me down to at least a level 8.
Which says a lot.
It's very relaxing.
It is hard to bring the one and only Alex Wilson off the level 10.
Off level 10. Usually it's like level 10 and up.
Yeah.
But right now, I would say solid level 8. You got some sherbet colors. You've got basically just quiet water. That water's not moving. I can't see the boundary between water and sky.
Yeah, so you got all those pinks and blues, the sun hitting the water just the right way. Oh, quite the serene scene. Plus, you get the kind of the waves lapping.
Gently rolling.
Yeah.
Now, if you got us out there, it would probably be a lot of like flopping, not as serene. Good thing they were
Belly
professionals
flop.
as well.
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
Like hold on to it.
Isn't that the right way to stand up paddleboard?
Apparently, based on what I've seen, apparently they were doing it all wrong.
Well.
Welcome back into Weather Underground on this Tuesday. We've had some big storms across the mid-Atlantic and southeast today.
Some new video to show you, including out of Massachusetts, where there were tornado-warned storms in West Dennis, and things were really moving around. My goodness, you look at those trees. just getting buffeted around. You can see the leaves breaking off. And, whoa, look at that in the background. The tree just snapped about halfway up, just gone. And that is a good sign of some very strong winds. Healthy trees don't do that.
Yeah, no, this is, and there wasn't just a little bit of tree damage. There was a ton of tree damage. Crews have been out there surveying and obviously getting everything cleaned up. But everything from small branches to large trees, and still wind an issue out there with thunderstorms this evening. We'll have a severe thunderstorm watch that remains in effect for parts of South Carolina, a lot of North Carolina as we go until the evening. And you can see that line of thunderstorms really from the Virginia-North Carolina state line all the way back down into South Carolina, even approaching Georgia. Elizabeth City, you've got thunderstorms around. So portions of the Outer Banks way up here on the north end, you guys could be getting in on some storms that bring you some gusty winds. At Moyock, trees were down, partially blocking the road around Tolls Creek Road. Also, power outages being reported in the area. So this is the time where if you're at that beach house, you start to, grab the deck of cards or pull out that puzzle that they keep there for situations just like this, right? Sampson County here in North Carolina, west of I-40, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning until 7 o'clock. A lot of lightning in the area, but gusty winds could take down some trees. 207 strikes just within that red box within the last 15 minutes. So we're dealing with a lot of lightning in the area, and this is going to cause you some trouble. Obviously, if you're hearing thunder inside where you absolutely need to be, regardless of whether or not you're under that severe thunderstorm warning. You can see along 26 and 95, we've got downpours and lightning, and then either side of 26 here as you approach Charleston, we've got a few scattered thunderstorms out on the leading edge here across the low country, but we got to watch places like Charleston, Georgetown, Myrtle Beach over the next few hours.
And we've had storms come through the Columbia area. There's still some low gray clouds and some light rain showers. I think the worst of the weather's already done, as evidenced by that temperature. Look at that, 73. That goes to show you just how much rain and rain-cooled air came through this area. And then the drier conditions come in behind this front. However, you got to get through the front first, and so many of you are still dealing with those storms for the next several hours, including here in the Norfolk, the Tidewater area. Several rounds of storms through the rest of the evening. Heavy rain, maybe localized flooding. 1, 2, maybe even up to 3 inches of rain before this goes all the way off the coast overnight. And that front does get through, but this evening is going to be rather rainy. Now we look down towards Charleston and Savannah. Here, too, we're going to have some storms come in for the kind of the late evening hours. But as a function of time, we're now past the peak heating time of the day. The sea breeze front is going to switch to more of the land breeze, so you won't have that collision helping the storms. And so these go by fairly easily over a couple of hours. That front gets stalled out, though, in South Georgia, maybe North Florida into the northern Gulf. Always a chance that we could get some tropical development on an old boundary like that. And well off the coast, some of the old remnants from Tropical Depression 3 gets kind of caught up in that front as well. So difficult deep sea fishing, difficult boating. The cruise lines are going to have to watch out for that, because sometimes along that front you can get a nice little surge of that low pressure area. But again, that front doesn't go anywhere. So we got to watch northern Florida all the way through tomorrow with regards to the big storms. Alex.
All right, we got a lot ahead on Weather Underground. Not what you want to see when you get ready to hop into your car, but this is what happened in Brooklyn yesterday, and we may see more scenes like this, and we may see them more often. I'm going to explain why. And, of course, we continue to track the thunderstorms moving through parts of the southeast.
Target School List Assist, the easiest way to shop your kid's school list in a click. Just enter their school, find their class, and pick up their entire list in store or have it delivered to your door. Target School List Assist for every school list.
When you start with a better hot dog from Oscar Mayer,
That's no way to treat a dog.
you can do no wrong.
Where did you learn that? The internet.
Yeah.
With no artificial preservatives or added nitrates or nitrites, it's all for the love of hot dogs.
You can always count on the champagne of beers. For the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. It's always just right. Welcome to the High Life.
With trusted protection for all-out confidence, Depend Silhouette Briefs feature maximum absorbency, beautiful colors, and an improved fit for a sleek design and personal style. Life's better when you're in it. Be there with Depend.
Sure, a resume is a great way to see someone's experience, but you're not hiring a resume, you're hiring a person. That's why Indeed offers tools that help bridge the gap between a candidate and their resume. Like skill tests, which let you actually see a candidate's abilities in action to make sure they're a good fit for the job. It's no wonder Indeed delivers 3 times more hires than any other job site. See beyond the resume with Indeed. Get a free sponsored job upgrade on your first posting at Indeed.com/offer.
$12 endless apps from TGI Fridays are back just for you. You, a human being with an appetite, which, through a remarkable twist of fate, is the reason we call them appetizers. $12 endless apps. Pick one app, then another, endlessly. TGI Fridays.
My Beneful Superfood Blend has me feeling super healthy with salmon, cranberries. Oh, but we are not done yet. Here comes Superfood Wet with beef, salmon, and pumpkin. It's like a superfood sundae on a Monday.
Beneful Superfood Blend dry and wet recipes.
This is my body proof.
Proof of less joint pain.
And clearer skin.
Proof that I can fight psoriatic arthritis.
With Humira.
Humira targets and blocks a specific source of inflammation that contributes to both joint and skin symptoms. It's proven to help relieve pain, stop further irreversible joint damage, and clear skin in many adults. Humira is the #1 prescribed biologic for psoriatic arthritis.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections. Serious and sometimes fatal infections, including tuberculosis and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Ask your rheumatologist about Humira.
Go to mypsaproof.com to see proof in action.
And Doug.
Look, Limu, a civilian buying a new car. Let's go. Limu's right. Liberty Mutual could save you money by customizing your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
Oh, yeah, I've been a customer for years.
Huh. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Oh my gosh.
A water spout. Look at that.
They got it. This video of this water spout shot in the same area where a tornado was confirmed. This is Cape Cod, Massachusetts, earlier today. Tornado reported around noon, and you're getting a view of it over water, so obviously water spout here. Another look. Watch as it spins out over the water. You can very clearly make it out. There it is. There it is. There it is. As he says, there it is. This is Yarmouth. So likely what we were looking at is that tornado eventually work out over the water. Here, a water spout. May have been a few areas of circulation, may have lifted, come back down. Now, at this point, we do have severe weather still moving through sections of North and South Carolina, but you can see our watch is getting more and more trimmed back. So some good news as those storms continue to progress off towards the east. Right now, the strongest of storms located across sections of southern North Carolina and into the state of South Carolina, but our only warning there in North Carolina, well to the northwest of Wilmington. It's Sampson County under the warning until 7 o'clock. Delway, Ingold, and Ivanhoe under the warnings. Gusty, damaging winds. We've already had plenty of reports today of downed trees and power outages, and that could be an issue here as well. 162 lightning strikes just within that red box, just within the last 15 minutes. So also giving you a sense of just how electrical this storm is, or these storms